Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports with Monga. And it's a car launch season which ended with Alpine launching their new A523 at a nightclub in London, which has some significance to Tomorrow Never Dies, the James Bond film, and the ex-Ferrari and the FIA or the F1 chief. Todd, I forgot the name as well, but then that's some relevance. I don't know. There has to be some relevance there because that was pretty much hyped up as well from the start. But then Alpine have launched. So last week was complete the launches of all the cars, and we'll be doing. I'll be doing an analysis of each one of them, starting with Alpine. I'm going in the reverse order. Alpine was the last car that was launched. Before that, we had Ferrari, Aston Martin, McLaren, Alfa Tauri, Alfa Romeo, and Williams. Before which Red Bull and the Haas had done a livery launch. But what was funny here with the Alpine one, they did two liveries, one with the blue and one with the pink. You can see behind me there's a blue one, but then there's a Pink Panther look as well. It almost seems that they've carried around with what at one point Force India would carry, later then bought by a separate owner, which is now Aston Martin. But Alpine, Renault kind of losing the yellow, losing the colors, and kind of bringing some more vibrancy into them. The car will launch with a lot of fanfare, with a lot of, a lot of print work. Of course, it's a media thing majorly with all the partners and sponsors and marketing and so on at stage and on the glamour around with it. Of course, there were some more celebrities around for the Alpine launch. But then, you still don't know what the shakedown is, like how. Of course, the team had a shakedown. Alpine did have a shakedown on before the launch in Silverstone, and Thursday, and they had the official launch with the new blue livery alongside a pink theme with the McLaren, title sponsors BWT, the water hydration partner. I would say not a water bottle company, but the hydration partners, BWT. That's what they have a pink version as well for that. The car livery, but then let's talk about Alpine right now. I think we still don't know how the car is. You still see the specs, the car, the mirrors, you still see it. They are like 2022 cars. You really don't know how they are until the preseason testing in Bahrain, which is not that far anymore, guys. It's just 4 more days before the actual preseason testing starts. It's basically on 25th. It starts on the 23rd to the 25th. It's the only preseason testing that all Formula One teams will have. But then talking about Alpine and doing quick review here. It's an interesting pairing. It's a very, very interesting pairing. Esteban Ocon has his 3rd season with the team, with a new co-driver in Pierre Gasly coming from Alfa Tauri last season after the domino of Sebastian Vettel kind of kickstarted a lot of movements around in the paddock. They've not had an amazing relationship. Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, both French, both in a French team now. Very interesting vibes coming out, like rumors already flying around that they're playing good, they're playing best friends right now. But then you all know when the season starts, it's going to be very interesting to watch how these two at least play around. Otmar Szafnauer has had to deal with some kind of resistance or issues similar after Fernando Alonso kind of publicly was very public about his unhappiness regarding the reliability of the car last season, and Esteban Ocon not giving him free space to move around. He didn't like that. He was very vehement about the fact that there were team orders that needed to be put out. But then Fernando Alonso decided to move on. But then it also tells Otmar Szafnauer that this is not going to be as easy as he feels. This just should be. Another fiasco that Alpine had was with Oscar Piastri, which basically was another thing that we can get into a separate episode with. Eventually, Oscar Piastri is going to drive for McLaren. We'll talk more about that in the preseason in another video where we'll walk through the McLaren MCL 60 a car launch as well. But then Alpine with after Fernando Alonso, will be interesting to see Esteban Ocon taking the leadership role there. I'm really excited to see how this goes. But this pairing is really rough. Like there are two pairings right now where I feel that things can go any which way. One is this, the other is Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen. They were beef to settle. Or they've had some issues in the past, but it's going to be interesting to watch how this goes. But I'm really interested to see Esteban Ocon taking the lead here, getting the chance that he deserves. And also now to see Pierre Gasly coming out of the shadow of the Red Bull family and how he can perform in a very different car, in a different environment where things are different, and he's not the number one. But he's not had an easy season as well. Last season was pretty difficult for him. But Yuki Tsunoda was able to kind of step up a little. But then 2 seasons before, he was just kind of, Pierre Gasly was bossing Yuki Tsunoda. He was new. But then the last season was pretty difficult for Pierre to kind of stamp his authority in the paddock. It will be interesting to see how this goes. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? What are you looking for? What do you think is Alpine's best position? I feel if they have to be best at the rest. And their title main competitors are definitely McLaren. But then it's all about it's a development fight. It's a development fight. I feel after Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari, you have the likes of Alpine, you have the likes of McLaren, and then you want to see if Aston Martin is able to step in the midfield game or fight. Along with Haas and Alfa Romeo and Williams as well. So I feel it's still the rest of the best, but it's a development fight with McLaren and possibly the one who kind of steps up from the winter. And the new car kind of has a new surprise. You never know with this, but I feel maybe P5 is something that they can settle with, and I feel that's we can come. I'll do a complete video with predictions, but that's what I feel. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think about the livery, Alpine launching their car. I'll catch you in the next one.